I'm going to be teaching a workshop later this month, and the topic is crawling and falling. This is part of a new series of workshops that I'm doing called Movement Explorations. So crawling and falling are a little bit different from what we normally look at in yoga. Often we look at balancing or various poses. Yoga can sometimes be quite linear, and the movements can be very specific, and we stay in the poses. In movement explorations, we'll be finding the space all between all of the poses. So all of the three-dimensional space that we can occupy, and trying to find ways to diversify our movement vocabulary so that we're not only moving in specific shapes, but adding kind of a flowing, maybe even you could call it liquid feeling movement. This movement feels really good in my body, and I wanted to give you an example of what some of the movements might look like in case you were curious. Like, what does movement explorations mean? So we're going to be doing some crawling, like regular baby crawling like this, and I'll talk about why that is really great for shoulders and hips as a movement. We'll also be doing some locomoting in downward dog, kind of forwards, backwards, sideways, and just playing around with that as a shape that most people who practice yoga are familiar with, downward dog. And then we're going to start doing some things that take us across the floor and that kind of combine the contralateral movement of crawling with falling. And falling doesn't have to be a big fall, and we'll actually start with much smaller falls. So here's an example of a fall. This is my contralateral movement, so this is sort of like a bum crawl. And then here's my fall. So I'm finding a point or a lift, and then I'm falling over. And so here's an example of a phrase. I'm just going to put my heels in here so they don't squeak on the floor. Of a movement phrase that we'll practice and look at during this workshop. So here's my contralateral movement, a fall, and here's a little bit of crawling, sort of like a primordial belly crawl, and then I'll pull in and come back up. So you can see the movement can be pretty flowing, and we'll start to add a little bit more and different phrases and movements altogether. So I hope you're interested in coming out to try this with me, Saturday, January 28th.